Hi everyone and welcome back. In this video I'm gonna start with the first lecture in the Flutter basics. So in this lecture we're going to create something like that, just like a stateless widget, and explain simply the widgets tree and stateless widget. So first of all, we have two types of widgets. We said before in the Flutter everything is widget. We have two types of widgets. So the first one, stateless widget, and the second one, stateful widget. Before we explain stateless and stateful, what the state exactly? Actually, the state is just like a variable or just an attribute inside the class or inside the object. Since the widget is just one class or just an object, so the state is an attribute or a variable inside this class. A stateless widget, which means this state always immutable, always final. So this state, which means will never change. And the UI will be static UI. In the stateless widget, the UI is static, so it's not, there is no like animation or any interaction. So just a static widgets or static UI, static user interface. In the other hand, the stateful widget, we have the state. Now the state is like a variable, as I have said before. This variable will change, and based on the change of this variable, the UI will change. For example, here in the first one, just a static. So here, stateless widget. Here, just nothing change. But here, when the user click on the button, you can see 4 become 5, 6, 6 and 5, just a text. So it's a widget. So they change the UI here. When you click, whenever I click in the button, the UI will change or rebuild. So this is the stateful. Here, same thing. Click here, something change. Click here, something change. So it's like a stateful widget. So this is the difference between stateless and stateful widget. Here we'll create the first application. As we said, I'll create the application like this. Very simple application, just a stateless widget. So it will be like this. Every time, just remember that the first widget we have is the material app. This material app will be like a container. Inside it, we will add the screen. So any application consists from multiple screens, right? Or just a screens. The screen, we can just create every screen by scaffold, also a widget called scaffold. We will explain that, of course, what the scaffold, but that's just a widget here. So for example, our application, we have only one screen, so we will create one scaffold, and the scaffold will be inside material app. So we can create the first thing material app and then a scaffold. This application will be like this. You can see here, in this way here. So we have material app, entire application inside material app. Inside it we have a scaffold. This called the scaffold here. Here the app bar, the body, everything here is scaffold, inside scaffold. Then we have center widget. So now everything in the center, you can see in the center of the screen. Inside center we have container. So this is the container here. The container is like a widget. You can add the colors and everything. Center, you cannot see anything, just add the container inside center. And then inside container we have text, also another widget which is text here. So this is the widget tree, called widget tree, because we have like a material app, like a child here, scaffold. Inside it we have center, and then we have container, and then text. So it's like a tree of widgets. So this application will be like this. Just remember that you have material app and so on. So now we can just create that quickly. So just first thing, you need to open the Android Studio. I have explained at the first video how to install Android Studio and work with Flutter. Now just a new Flutter project here, and then Flutter you can create here. Just go to the next, and then you can name it like, for example, like this. For example, first, and then application or app. I can name it in this way inside apps, for example. So I can say finish here. Now a Flutter will create the project. Now it's created. As you can see, by default, the first thing in the Flutter, you can open here the project here, project, and then you can go to the lib, which is library. So everything, all the Flutter project will be inside library. So here we have only by default only one, which is main.dart, this one here. So we have of course the default application here, so we don't need to start with that. So I can delete everything and just start with the main. So as you know, in the Dart programming language like Java, we have void, the starting point of the application. So we have void main and just a function. to start a Flutter application, you need to use a function called run app. So just use here run app here. So run app, when I create run app, I should import something here, either Cupertino or material app. So you can import here, it's better since we are in the Android or Windows system. So you need to add the material app. So just write here package. You can see, just write the first two words, you can find it, and then Flutter. Inside the Flutter package, we have material app, material.dart. So inside material, you can find everything. For example, this is the run app. If you just click control in the keyboard and click here, you can see the run app, it is void, so it's return nothing. Inside it, we have widget, so widget app. So we need to add widget inside run app function. So here, what the widget we need to add. So as I've said before, every application will start with material app. So since that, so we can add material app here. So I can say material, just write the first thing. You can see every time the class or the widget start with the capital letter. So now inside it, we have material app. This is a widget, no problem. So also click control and click here. You can see we have many things inside it, like widget home. The important thing now, we need home, return a widget. So now we can add just here home, and here we need to create a widget. So every time you have to create another widget here. So it said we have stateless widget and stateful widget. So we need to create our application. So I can name it first application. So just a class, name it like first app, extend. To create a stateless widget, now we will start with stateless widget. So to create a stateless widget, you need to create a class, and this is extend the stateless widget. That's it. So just extend stateless widget. That's it. So now I have created the first stateless widget here called first application. Stateless widget from where? Everything from here, from material.dart. Now you can see here we have a problem. If you click here, if you just add the mouse here, you can see what the problem here. We create one missing override. So we have explained in Dart, and you should know that by object-oriented programming, when you have an abstract method with the abstract class and abstract method inside it, you need to implement the abstract method. So since stateless widget is abstract class, you can just press Control and click here, and you can see it is abstract class here. And inside it, we have abstract method, which means method doesn't implement. So just a body, just a name without body of the method. So you can just try to find it, press F, and then, so here, as you can see, widget built. So there is no body here, so we need to implement this. We must implement this method here. So this, we need just to implement that. So you can say it is return back here, widget, and the name will be build. Inside it, we have context. We'll explain what the context, but now the type of it, build context, and we have context. And then it should return what? If you just click on it here, it should return back a widget. So here, return widget. So return a widget here. So what the widget do we need to return here? First thing here, home, we said home material app, return widget. So we will add just this widget here. Since it is widget, it's stateless widget, so it is a widget. So just add it here. Now everything will work without any problem. Now we have material app inside it, first app. First app is what? It's just stateless widget, and and it has a build method to build a widget. So return a widget, build method just to build a widget. So just to return back. So what we have else here inside our application, we have first thing we say the scaffold. So I will return scaffold. Scaffold is a widget. Inside the scaffold, also you can just control and press here. You can find everything, but the important thing here, we have body and we have also app bar. So here app bar and we have body. So we need app bar. So since we would create something like that, so this is the app bar here. So I can just create the app bar. So app bar, let's return app bar here. Inside app bar, I can we have title, we have many things. Of course, just control and click here, you can find everything. So now inside app, I have title. Title return what? Also control and click, you can see return widget. So you need to add widget. So for example, text, and then I can say, for example, Osama app or anything, of course. See here we have like a problem. Let's say here prefer const. We always I've said before the using const is always better. And also this class, if I control and click here, you can see it is by default it is constant. So here always you prefer to add const for const constructor, so it will be a constant, so that's better always. Then here I need to add body, since in the scaffold we have up bar, we have body, we have many things, drawer and everything. Now I need body. Inside body, what can I add here? We have scaffold. Inside it I can add center now, so center widget, just write center. Every class or every widget has a child, so then child will be what I need here. I need to add container. This is the container here, so just add a child and then add container. Container, we have many things. We can just control and click here. You can find many things here like alignment, like color, decoration, height, width, add many things. So for example, I will start with height, and height equal, for example, 200, of course, as you like. We have width, for example, also 200. I can add padding. Padding is like from edge and sets dot what dot, for example, all, or something like that. You can see this what edge inset. If we click here, it is just a class, and here we have a named constructor. So we have constructor and named constructor. You can see edge dot all, so it's contain like value here for all, which means what I need to add padding or margin, for example, from left, top, right and bottom and so on. So we have many things here, just named constructor. So here I need all, and I can add like 20, for example, or only 10, as you like actually. And also here you can see, if you click here, you can see this the all here const, so constant. So also here prefer always to add const. This is the for padding. Same thing for margin. We have also edge incent dot all. I will add like, for example, 10 here, and also it will be constant. And I will add color. Color is like colors dot something, so dot color. So what the color that I need, so I can add this color, for example, light blue. And also if we click here in the color, you can see it's just a class. Inside it we have like static attributes, so you don't need to you don't need to create an object, just you can just add the color here directly, just call the color directly. And then in the container we have child. In the child, what I need to do here, I can add text directly, or also add a center and text inside center. So I can add also here center again, and the child will be text here, text widget. Inside text widget I can add anything I want. For example, here what I have said, I said, for example, welcome to my app. So for example, welcome in my app. And also text is constant, and also center constant, so just say const here. So since I added here, so I don't need to add it to the child, because by default, if the center is if the parent here is a constant, by default the child will be constant as well. So here, if this one is constant, by default the child will be constant, so we don't need to add constant only here. Also I can add the text. I have a style inside text, for example here style, and if we click control here in the style, you can find we have type text style. So write text style. Text style has many things. For example, I have font size. Font size I can add like 20. I have like font width. I can make it like bold, so font width dot bold. Also you can add as anything you want, like color, for example, it will be colors dot something, like color dot white if you want, or any other color. Now that's it. So if we just try to run the application, just pay attention here, you need to add like a semicolon in the dart. Now you need just to run the emulator here. Click here to run your emulator. already running, so I can just go here and run my application. Before it's running here, you can see if you have like some problem. If you just click here, you can see use key in widget constructor. So you can just click here, add the mouse here and here, go here and add key to constructor. So it automatically will add the constructor and add the key for the constructor, and we will explain what the key later. And here's added constant, since this is stateless widget, so it will be constant, so nothing will change here. And also here's prefer to add like constant because nothing will change, just a stateless here, and you can see the application like this. And it's very simple, you can change anything. For example, here Osama app, I can make it application, and just click here, just hot reload, directly will change, so you don't need to recompile entire application again. So this is everything about the your first application. So if you make that, if you do that, so congratulations, this is the first application, first Flutter application. Of course, anything to create the like a perfect application, the advanced application, you need to start from the simple application like this. Also here you can see this for debugging. I can also remove it. So from the material up here, I can just remove that. So we have here just say debug, I forget, yes, this here, debug show check mode banner. So by default it's true, so you can just make it false, that's it, and then hot reload, so it will, so now it's removed. So hope you understand that. Any question, of course, you can ask me either in the class or here in the comments. Hope you understand that, and thank you very much.